Are you struggling to buy a roll of tape, but can only buy it in increments of 10? Let's talk about minimum order quantities and why it creates that situation. In this video, we're going to talk about a material quantity gap, how you can find the right material quantity for your production, and how you can optimize your production process. The order quantity, or sometimes referred to minimum order quantity, all plays a factor in how much material we can order for your specific process. The minimum order quantity, or MOQ, is dictated by our suppliers and tells us how much material we have to order in order to get this material in. This can affect your overall cost you spend on material, as well as the production efficiency that we have from using that amount of material. Strategic planning, coordinating with manufacturers, and exploring alternative solutions are key elements in optimizing order quantity for efficient manufacturing processes. The material quantity gap can refer to two situations. It can refer to the difference between the minimum order quantity, MOQ, and the actual material you need for your parts. It also can refer to the difference between the increments that you must order the material in and the amount of material you need for your parts. If the difference between these two scenarios is significant, it can affect both your cost per part as well as your production efficiency, driving up cost along the way. The impact of minimum order quantity on pricing can be significant. For example, if a manufacturer wants to order 1,000 products, but the material is only sold in increments that produce 100,000 products, the pricing structure is not going to be economical for the intended order size. This mismatch can lead to increased material cost, wasted inventory, and storage issues as a result. The MOQ changes between prototyping and production because oftentimes suppliers will offer sample rolls in order to get through the prototyping stage. This is the industry standard that allows consumers to use the right materials in this stage to make sure they're going to work for their intended purpose before they spend thousands of dollars on purchasing their products. However, once you get to production, the sample rolls will not be sufficient in order to make that amount of parts. Then you have to start ordering the MOQs as well as the increments that they offer for that particular material. One solution that a converter can offer is looking at alternative materials that have both lower MOQs and lower increments that they need to order in. You can go from hundreds to hundreds of thousands without spending too much money on the material you actually need for that particular stage. When you get to the production phase, there are 5 tips that we recommend to optimize your production process even further. First, blanket purchase orders, also known as BPO. If you are planning repeat orders over an extended period, consider a BPO to purchase a larger quantity up front at a better proportional cost. Next, order coordination. Coordinate with the manufacturer to stagger orders over time, reducing the risk of material expiration. Third, increasing order size. If feasible, increasing the order size to meet the MOQ may be an option, especially if there's a use for the additional products. Fourth, alternative materials or suppliers. Explore different materials or suppliers, even if it comes at a higher cost. The lower MOQ that you'll get for these materials will pay itself off in the long run. Lastly, supplying your own material. Supplying your own material is an option, but it may require upfront payment and coordination with the manufacturer. You also need to worry about inventory management to make sure that your material isn't expiring before you actually use it. If you have a material in mind, it might be a good time to reach out to discuss the minimum order quantity, the increments you need to order, and how this might affect your production process. If you have any more questions, feel free to check out our Learning Center or reach out to us directly. Thanks for watching.